the first family I'd like to do is called a profile. Essentially, we're just going to draw this profile right here. It's a basic Cove molding. Then what we're going to do is we're going to load this remove project. We're going to actually sweep it along some walls. But before we do that, we'll see that we're going to build some formulas to make this thing smart. So to get started, let's jump into Revit. Under Families, let's go New. Now, in my Look In, I want to browse down till I find Profile Hosted. Once Profile Hosted is selected, I'm going to click on Open. And here we go. Now, we'll notice that we have two reference planes. These are the most important part of a Revit family. These are what drive the model. I like to consider them the skeleton of the model. First and foremost, we add reference planes, we dimension them, and then we put our 3D extrusions or our line work on top of the reference planes so everything is flexible. Now, since this is going to be kind of a small profile, I'm going to change my scale. Instead of 1 inch equals a foot, I think I'm going to go to 1.5 inches equals a foot. Now what I'd like to do is I'm going to go to my Manage tab, and I'm going to go to Project Units. I'm going to go into Length. I like to suppress at 0 feet. I'm going to click OK. Now I'm going to click OK. All right, let's get started. What I want to do is I want to create a reference plane. So everything we do in a family is going to build off these two reference planes that are already here. To do it, the easiest way to make another reference plane, I think, is to select one that's already there. Right-click on it and create Similar. Now, on my Draw panel, I want to click on my Pick Lines button, and I'm going to give it an offset of 1 foot. I'm going to hover over this reference plane. Notice that my new reference plane is going to shoot off to the right. Once you see that temporary reference plane, pick it. Awesome. Now let's do one down. I'm going to pick here, and I'm going to offset it downward. Excellent. Hit escape a couple of times. Now, I want to dimension them before I get lost in reference planes. On my Measure panel, I'm going to click on my Align Dimension button. Now, it's very important the order in which we dimension, because this is considered our strong reference plane. This defines our origin. Right here is the insertion point. So when we dimension something, we have to go from our strong reference to our weak reference. Because if this dimension changes, I want this line to move, not this line. So dimension from your strong reference to your weak reference. That is, pick a point off of it. Do the same going down. Go from the strong reference to the weak reference and pick a point off of it. Now hit escape a couple of times. Select your top 1 foot dimension. Notice that we can add a label to it. If we click the drop down, we're going to add a parameter. For the name, I want to call it depth. Now, do we want it to be a type, property, or an instance property? We want it to be type because of the fact that we want all of these to change if we just change this one. So let's click OK. Now for our 1 foot dimension here, let's put another label on it. Let's add a parameter. Let's call this height. Now, we have to keep this a type parameter because we're going to involve this in a mathematical formula with our depth parameter. They have to be the same type. Let's click OK. Now, I want to have that little 2-inch reveal here and here. So I'm going to right-click on this reference plane, and I'm going to create Similar. On my Draw panel, I'm going to click on my Pick Lines button, and I'm going to offset this down 2 inches. Offset straight down 2. I'm going to offset to the right 2. Now I'm going to hit escape a couple of times. On my Measure panel, I'm going to click Align the Dimension. I'm going to go from my strong reference to my weak reference. Pick a point here. I'm going to go from my strong reference to my weak reference, and I'm going to pick a point right about here. I'm going to hit escape. Now I'm going to hold down my Control key, and I'm going to select both of these 2-inch dimensions. Now for my label, I'm going to click the drop down here, and I'm going to click on Add Parameter. I'm going to call this Reveal. Notice also how I'm using upper lowercase. This is very important because when we have a mathematical formula, Revit is case sensitive. Let's click OK. Hit escape. All right, now let's draw our shape. So I'm going to go to my Create tab. I'm going to go to Line. And I'm going to go from here to here to here to here to here. Now on my Draw panel, I'm going to click on my Start and Radius Arc button. I'm just come straight up to here, pick that, and let it snap to the tangency. Pick right there. Now hit escape. All right, we've got it drawn in. Pretty cool. Now what I want to do is on my properties, I want to take a look at my family types. So let's go up to Family Types. I want to add some formulas in here. I want my height to always equal my depth. Notice that in this area here, we can add formulas, and they give us a little equal sign. So for my height, I want the formula to just say depth, and then hit enter. Depth is 1 foot. Our height is going to be 1 foot. But for our reveal, what I'd like to do here is add an if statement. I want to say if the depth is less than 8 inches, I want my reveal to only be 1 inch. If it's greater than 8 inches, I want my reveal to be 2 inches. So, in the formula, let's type in the word if. Now, let's type in an open parenthesis. That would be shift 9. If depth, remember it's uppercase. Now, let's hit a space. Let's add the less than caret sign. If depth is less than 8 inches, then I want the reveal to be 1 inch. If not, comma, I want 2 inches. Now we need to close the parenthesis, and we hit enter. Notice that the reveal is grayed out. Now let's change our depth to 6 inches. Hit enter. Notice that the reveal changes to 1 inch. Click apply, click OK. Everything has flexed along with it. Okay, now let's make some family types. Let's go back to our family types. And I want to click right here, and I want to click on new type. The name is going to be 6 inches. I'm going to click OK. Now let's click on new type again. Type name is going to be 12 inches. Hit OK. Change your depth to 1 foot. Hit apply. Hit OK. Now let's save this. I'm going to click my save button. Browse to where you're keeping your exercise files. I'm going to call this Cove. So file name, type in Cove. Let's go to our options. Let's make sure we only have one backup. Then I'm going to click OK. Now I'm going to click on Save. Now let's test it on the project. So I'm going to click my purple R. I'm going to go to New Project. I want to select my architectural template, and I want to click OK. Now on the Architecture tab, I'm going to click the Wall button. I'm going to hit the drop down, and I'm going to come up to Exterior Brick and CMU on Metal Stud. I don't care how high it is. Now I'm just going to click on my Rectangle button. I'm going to draw a rectangle from here to here. I'm going to go to 3D View. Now we need to load that profile into here. So I like to come up here and click on Close Hidden Windows, hit Control Tab. Now let's click Load into Projects. Now let's select our wall. Let's click on Edit Type. Let's click on the Preview button right here and make sure our view is set to Section. Now for our structure, I'm going to click on the Edit button. And down here we have sweeps and reveals and all kinds of stuff. So I'm going to click on Sweeps. I'm going to get rid of my brick soldier course. I'm just going to select it and delete it. But now I'm going to add, and I'm going to hit the drop down. And I can either choose my Cove 12 inch or my Cove 6 inch. I'm going to go with the 12 inch one. My material, I'm going to click into here, and I'm going to click my Builder button. And I'm just going to search for concrete. So I'm going to type in CONC. I'll find concrete precast, and I'm going to click OK. My distance, let's type in -1 foot. Let's go from top. Click apply. Now we'll see that it shows up right here. It's on the exterior side, which is good. So let's click OK. We can zoom in on it here. Let's click OK. Now we've got it. Now we'll see that we can use this Cove sweep anywhere we want. All it was a simple 2D line work. The next sample I'd like to do is going to be a profile again, but it's going to be a cherry this time. It's going to be similar to how we did the Cove, but what's going to happen here is there's going to be a lot of additional dimensions that we're going to have to lock down. So under Families, let's go New. Let's find Profile Hosted. Let's click Open. Now I'm going to zoom in here, and I'm going to make some new reference planes. But this time I want our profile to be centered on this. Picture this is our wall. And picture this is the center of our chariot. So I'm going to right click on a reference plane and I'm going to create similar. On my job panel, I'm going to click on the pick lines button and my offset will be 2 inches. I'm going to offset up and I'm going to offset down and I'm going to hit escape a couple of times. Now what I want to do is I want to immediately put an aligned dimension in here, but we're going to equally dimension these. So if I click on my aligned dimension button, I want to have a series of dimensions. So I'm going to click here to here, then to here. Now I'm going to click off of it back about here. But what I want to do is I want to click on my EQ button. Then I want to hit escape a few times. Now I'm forcing it to be centered upon this center line reference plane. I'm going to click on aligned dimension again. I'm going to go from here to here. And I'm going to click off of it over here. I'm going to hit escape a couple of times. Now I'm going to select my 4-inch dimension. I'm going to click my label drop down. Add parameter. I'm going to call it width. I want to keep it as a type parameter. I'm going to click OK. Now I'm going to hit escape a couple of times. Now I'm going to right click on this reference plane and I'm going to create similar. On my draw panel, I'm going to click on my pick lines button. I'm going to go 1 inch. I'm going to offset it to the right 1 inch. I'm going to hit escape a couple of times. Now I'm going to add a dimension. I'm going to go from your strong reference to your weak reference. I'm going to pick a point off of it right about here. And I'm going to hit escape a couple of times. Now I'm going to select my 1 inch dimension, my label drop down. I'm going to add a parameter. I'm going to call this depth. It's a type of parameter, and I'm going to click OK. I'm going to hit escape. I'm going to change my scale to something a little bit bigger, 1.5 inches. Now I'm going to zoom in here, and I'm going to pick these reference planes. So I'm going to go to Create. I'm going to go to Line. Now on my draw panel, I'm going to click on Pick Lines. It is imperative that we click on the lock button right here. Now I'm going to pick all 4 of these. So I'm going to pick here, 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 and then here, and I'm going to hit escape. Now I'm going to type TR for trim. Remember, don't hit enter. I'm going to trim these out from here to here, here to here, here to here, and here to here. Escape. Now I'm going to put a little fillet here. So I have to go to Create, Line. On my draw panel, I'm going to click on Fillet Arc. I'm going to click on Radius. I'm going to make that radius 1/8 of an inch. And I'm going to go here to here. I'm going to go here to here. I'm going to hit escape. Now what I'm going to do is start drawing a little bit of a cove here. So on my Create tab, I'm going to click on Line. I'm going to pick a point right here. I'm going to go straight up 3/4 of an inch. I'm going to come in a quarter. Now I'm going to come in from here 1/4 of an inch. You can see it's tracking it down. Pick a point. I'm going to come straight up 1/4 of an inch. Now I'm going to click on my Start and Radius Arc button. Click here, come straight down to here, and I'm going to hit escape a couple of times. But this is a problem. We can't have this, and I'm not a big fan of having 2 lines here either. So type TR for trim, and go from here to here, and hit escape. Now I'm going to select this line, and I'm just going to simply delete it. Type TR for trim, and trim it from here to here. Perfect. Now what I want to do is I'm going to pick a window right around these items here. I'm going to type MN. I'm going to click a point right here. I'm going to mirror it straight down. I'm going to hit escape. I'm going to come in here and type TR for trim, here to here. Now I'm going to trim from here to here. I'm going to hit escape. Okay, now we've got some dimensioning and locking to do. So on the measure panel, click the Align Dimension button and dimension it from our reference plane to the top of our trim. Pick a point over here. Now I'm going to pick a point from here to here, and I'll dimension it down. Let's go to the Manage tab. Let's go to Project Units. For the length, let's click on the Format. Let's suppress 0 feet. Click OK. Click OK. That's a lot better. Now, before we leave, I'm going to select this 3/4 inch dimension, and we need to click on our little lock padlock. So click that. Do the same with this one. Lock it. Now I'm going to dimension again from my reference plane to the top of my trim. Lock it from my reference plane to the face of my trim. And I'm going to zoom out and I'm going to lock it. One more thing we need to do, however, is we need to dimension this. So I'm going to click on my radial dimension. I'm going to select my fillet, put a dimension there. Select my fillet, I'm going to put a dimension here. Let's increase our scale. Instead of 1.5 inches, let's go up to 3 inches. It's still pretty crowded, but that's okay. Notice that we can move our dimensions out of the way. Now what I'd like to do is go to my family types. And I want a formula. I want an if statement. So for my depth, I'm going to type if width is greater than 8 inches, comma. My depth is going to be 1.25 inches. If not, comma, 1 inch. Close parenthesis, enter. Now if you change your width to 9 inches, it'll be 1.25. Very cool. Let's change our width to 8 inches. Let's click apply. Click OK. Let's make sure everything works out. Looks like it does. So I'm going to go back to my family types. And I'm going to click on new type. I'm going to type in 8 inches. I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to click new type again. 4 inches. Change your width to 4 inches. Click apply. Click OK. Let's test it. Purple R, new project. Let's find our architectural template. Let's click OK. I'm going to go to wall. Let us use generic 8 inch. I'm going to draw a rectangle. Now I'm going to hit Control Tab. Let's save this. So I'm going to click on the Save button. Let's save it to where we're keeping our exercise files, and I'm going to call it Chair Rail. I'm going to go to my Options. Maximum backups will be 1. I'm going to click OK. I'm going to click Save. I'm going to load into Project. I'm going to select one of my walls. I'm going to click Edit Type. For my structure, I'm going to click Edit. Now I'm going to go down to my sweeps. I'm going to add. I'm going to hit my profile drop down. I'm going to go chair rail 4 inches. For material, I'm going to click on the builder button. Make sure here that you have this button selected so that you have this little area of materials as well. I'm going to search for cherry. I'm going to find cherry. For my cut pattern, I'm going to click on pattern. I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to put it on wood 1. Now I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to hit apply. Hit OK. Now my distance, let's make it 3 feet from the base. But let's make sure it's on the interior. Click apply. Click OK. Now we can zoom in on it. There it is. Click OK. Click OK again. Go to a 3D view. Change your visual style to realistic. There we go. Now we got our chair rail. In this video, I'd like to do another profile. This one's going to be a baseboard, so it's going to be a little bit different than the chair rail we did. But what we want to do is a lot of these trims, we want to kind of match them together. So that's what we're going to do here. So under families, let's go new. Let's scroll down to profile hosted. Let's click open. Now in this case, this is going to be our floor, and this is going to be our wall. So let's start in with some reference planes. I'm going to right click on this reference plane and create similar. On my drop panel, I use my pick lines button, and I'm going to give it an offset of 1 inch. While I'm in my offset command, let's offset another 4 inches up. Hit escape. Let's change our scale to 1.5 equals a foot. Let's go to manage. Let's go to project units. And for our length, let's suppress 0 feet. Okay and okay. Now, let's add some dimensions. So on the quick access toolbar, click on the dimension button. Go from your strong reference to your weak reference. That must go from our strong reference to our weak reference. Remember, this is the floor here, so that's our strong reference. Select the 1 inch dimension. Let's add a parameter. Let's call it thickness. Let's hit OK. For the 4 inch dimension, let's add a parameter. Let's call it height. Let's hit OK. Perfect. On the Create tab, let's click the Line button. On the Draw panel, let's pick lines. Let's make sure Lock is set. And let's pick these 4 reference planes right here. And hit Escape. Type TR for trim. Let's trim them right around. And escape a couple times. Beautiful. Now let's put our little cove up top here. Create line. You don't actually have to draw the line. If you go up 3/4 of an inch and come in 1/4 of an inch, hit escape. Do the same down here. Come in 1/4 of an inch. Go up 1/4 of an inch. On the draw panel, click Start End Radius Arc. Hit escape. Let's trim these out. Let's trim from here to here. Beautiful. Let's dimension from our reference plane to the top of our trim. Make sure we lock it. Now let's dimension the depth. Let's make sure we lock it. Now I want to put another one out here. So I want to go to Create Line. I want to come up 3/4 of an inch. Come in 1/4. Hit Escape. And down here, I'm going to come in 3/4 of an inch. Up 1/4. I'm going to click on Start and Radius Arc. Do a little trimming. Type TR for trim. Click here to here. And here to here. Obviously, we'll need to dimension this as well. So I'm going to click on Align Dimension. Go from this reference plane to the face of my shoe molding. I'm going to lock that down. I'm going to do one more. Notice that we can grab, if we tab once, the point of that. Hit that, we can lock that down. We better test it out. Let's click on Family Types. Let's give it a height of 6 inches. Let's give it a thickness of 1.25 inches. Click Apply. Click OK. It's going to work. What I want to do is go back to the other dimension. So let's go back to Family Types. For the height, we'll keep it at 4 inches. For the thickness, we'll keep it at 1 inch. Apply. Click OK. Now let's save it. Let's save it as base. BASE. Under Options, Let's add one backup. Let's click OK. Let's hit save. Let's test it in the project. So let's go to the purple R. Let's go to new project. Let's make sure we use our architectural template. Now on the architecture tab, let's click on wall, draw panel. Let's click rectangle. Let's just draw a little rectangle for the walls here. Escape. Hit Control Tab. Now let's click Load into Project. Now we select one of our walls. Click Edit Type. For structure, let's click Edit. Now let's click on Sweeps. Let's click Add. For the profile, hit the drop down. Notice that we didn't assign any types, so it's going to look like this. Always remember to assign some types. I skipped that just so we see how it looks. It's kind of redundant. So grab base. For material, click on the builder button here. Let's make it cherry. Let's add a cut pattern to that cherry with 1. Click apply, click OK. For the side, let's make it interior. Click apply, click OK. Zoom out. Got your baseboard. Click OK. Click OK again. Now, one thing I want to show you is suppose you forgot to make a type. That's okay. In the project browser, let's scroll down to where it says families. Let's drill into families. Now let's scroll down till we find profiles. Let's drill into profiles. Look, we have base. Let's drill into base. Now let's double click on the subcategory base. That's our type. Let's rename it. So the type will be 4 inches. Now notice we can duplicate it. So go ahead and click on duplicate. Let's make one 6 inches. Click OK. For the height, all we gotta do is change it to 6 inches here. And we're good to go. Hit OK. It won't affect the one that's here. But if we select our wall, click on Edit Type. For the view, let's go Section. For structure, let's click Edit. Let's click on Sweeps. Notice that it's base 4 inch. So, if you forget to create a family type, when you're creating the family itself, you can always change it in the model. I'm gonna hit OK here, hit OK here, hit OK here, hit Escape, and there you go. That's how you create a base. One last profile we should make is a crown molding. Probably the more difficult of all of them, but we can do it. On the families, let's go new. Of course, we're going to find profile hosted. Let's click OK. The distance, I want it to be 8 feet from base. Side is interior. Click apply. Click OK. Zoom in. See that it's there. Click OK. And click OK. Now see we've got it in there. Go to 3D view. Select your ceiling. Now our crown is in there. Go to level 1. Let's cut a section through it. Open up your section. I'd increase my scale to like 3/4 of an inch. So we can zoom in and see we've got a crown going right up around here, sitting right on the bottom of that ceiling. So there you go. That's how you make crown molding. So up to this point, we made some pretty cool profiles, but the problem is we swept them down the length of entire walls. In reality, generally you're going to have room by room where some of these profiles are in and some of them are not, which means that we need the ability to sweep them down walls, but not the entire wall, just in a room. That's where the in-place families come in handy. See, we've already done the hard work by creating the profiles. Now we just need to lay them in room by room. So let's get started by just going to a new project. So under projects, let's go to architectural template right here. All right, now I just want to draw some simple walls. So on the architecture tab, let's click the wall button. I'm just going to start drawing some walls. I put a couple little corners in there, a couple little bump outs, something to make it kind of realistic. Come back and maybe just tie it off there. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to pull some of these walls down just to simulate the fact that we're in the middle of a building somewhere. Okay, now what I'd like to do is go to our ceiling plan, level 1. Let's drop a ceiling in. So on the architecture tab, let's find ceiling. Let's pop one in. I'll hit escape a few times. All right, now let's go back down to level 1 floor plan. I'm going to cut a section by going to my quick access toolbar and clicking the section button. So click on section. I'm going to put a section down right about here. I'm going to hit escape. Now let's open that section up. So double click on the section itself. And what I want to do is define some work planes. So on the architecture tab, let's come down to ref plane. On the Draw panel, let's click on Pick Lines. I'm just going to zoom in here. I'm going to grab my ceiling. If your lines are really thick, notice that I can click on my Thin Lines button, and it makes them thick or thin. I'm going to keep my thin lines thin for now. I'm going to pick this ceiling right here. I'm going to grab this grip and drag it out. Notice that we can click to name. We've always been able to name our reference plane, but new to 2017 is the ability to just click right here and call it Crown. And then we hit Enter. Escape a few times. Now I'm going to right click on this reference plane. Then I'm going to create similar. On my Draw panel, I'm going to click on my Pick Lines button. Then I'm going to offset 2'6". Then I'm going to offset up 2'6". I'll select this reference plane and drag it out, although you really don't need to. And it's important to also know that just because we're doing this in this room, these are available throughout the project as almost like a floor plan. So I'm going to select this reference plane. I'm going to click to name it, and I'm going to call it Chair Rail. I'm going to hit Enter. Now I hit Escape. Okay, now what I want to do is let's go down to Level 1 Floor Plan. We need to set our view range. So in my properties, I'm going to scroll down till I find View Range under the Extents category and click on Edit. Our top primary range, I want to just set this to level above. I'm going to hit OK. Now I'm going to go to the Architecture tab. I'm going to click my component drop down, and I'm going to go to Model in Place. I'm going to call it Casework. I'm going to hit OK. And I'll call it Crown-Room 1. I'm going to hit OK. Now, before we do anything else, I'm going to click on my Set Work Plane button. I'm going to click the drop down here, and my reference plane wants to be Reference Plane Crown. And I'm going to hit OK. Now I want to click on Sweep. Now I want to click on Sketch Path. Notice over here you can hover over your work plane, and it says Reference Plane Crown. I want to use my Pick Lines button, and I do want to lock it. So I'm just going to go around, and I'm going to pick these walls. And obviously, we're going to have some cleanup to do. Hit Escape, type TR for trim. Let's just trim up our nasty corners. Here we go. Excellent. Click on the Finish Edit mode, which means we can edit the Pick Path mode. Let's open up our section that we put in, and it's right where we want it. For the profile, let's click the drop down. Notice that our profile is not in here. There's a bunch of them, but none of the ones that we want. That's okay. Hit Escape a couple times. Click on Select Profile. Click Load Profile. Let's scroll to where we're keeping our exercise files. I want to grab Base, Chair Rail, and Crown. Click Open. Now for the profile, hit the drop down. We've got Crown. Grab it. Of course, it's opposite. So select the crown molding and just click on Flip. Hit Escape a couple times. Now let's click on Finish Edit Mode. There it is. Now, before we finish the model, let's go ahead and select that crown molding. For the material, let's click into here and let's click on the little builder button. Let's assign it cherry. Let's put our little cut pattern in there for wood 1. Okay. Okay. But what I'd like to do also is let the end user define it as well. So cherry will be the default, but now the person can click it and define any material they want. So click on this button here. Click on Create New Parameter. So the name, call it Crown Material. I want to make that an instance parameter. It could be different materials in different rooms. Click OK. Click OK. Now I'm going to click on Finish Model. Then we have our crown. Go right around the room, just the way we think it should look. Okay, now let's go back down to Level 1 Floor Plan. Let's go back to our view range. Let's click Edit. Let's just set that back to Associated Level 1. Let's click OK. Now let's go Architecture, Component, Model in Place, Casework. Hit OK. Now I want to call this Chair Rail -Room 1. Hit OK. Now make sure before you do anything else that we're going to set our work plan. So click on Set Work Plan. Let's make sure we set that to Chair Rail Reference Plane. Click OK. Now let's click on Sweep. Let's click on Sketch Path. Let's pick lines. Let's go around and pick all those lines we had before. And Escape, type TR for trim. Let's clean it up. Now, of course, if you had a door in here, you could just split this outside of that door. Let's click on Finish Edit Mode for this sketch path. Let's open up our section. Here it is. The profile, let's hit the drop down. Let's grab our tree rail 4-inch. Of course, it needs to be flipped, so flip it. Hit Escape. Click Finish. Now select the tree rail. Material will be cherry. Hit OK. Let's click the Builder button. Let's click the new parameter. Call it Chair Rail. Material. Instance parameter. Hit OK. Hit OK. There it is. Okay, one more. Let's do the base. So let's go back down to level 1 floor plan. Let's click on Finish Model. Let's go to the Architecture tab. Let's go to the Component drop-down. Let's Model in Place. Casework. Baseboard. Room 1. Hit OK. Now let's set our work plane. And I want it to be level 1, right where it is. Hit OK. Now it'll be a little tougher because you can see the chair rail above it. So let's go to Sweep. Let's go Sketch Path. Let's pick. Just make sure you're hitting the outside. Going around the whole thing. Revit pretty much knows to join the corners within reason. One more. This one, and then this one. Now let's trim them up. There you go. Click on Finish Edit Mode. Let's go to our section. The profile is going to be base. Of course, it needs to be flipped, so click Flip. Click Finish. With it selected, let's make it cherry. Let's tie this in, create a new parameter. Call it Baseboard Material. Instance parameter. Click OK. Click OK. Finish Edit Load. There you have it. That's how you put your trim in a room. The nice thing is, if I select a wall and move it, it's going to go with it. If I select my reference plane, and I change the height, it's going to move with it. So everything we do is still at least tied into something. So whenever we cut a section anywhere in this room or through this model, it's going to be accurate.